The question is, what would happen if you managed to unplug from a cultural belief, a collective belief? Would it change the outcome? Would it position an individual to determine his or her own outcome?
Yes, and the answer is yes, and there's a way to do it. If you put flies in a bottle and you cover them, and you cover them for a couple of days, and then you uncover them, there's something that Ellen Langer at Harvard she calls it premature cognitive commitment. And that is a barrier that the animal from rat to Homo sapien creates that barrier, and those flies continue to fly around there. But there's some flies that come out, and they're called pioneer flies. And they defy the society, not the culture, because the culture is very powerful. The culture has wisdom. It can kill you or it can save you. Society is the group controls that you have. Culture is the aesthetic, the health, the religious beliefs that a group assimilates. So sometimes you have to break from the culture, sometimes you have to break from the social. Society is a lot easier to break from. So you have to become a pioneer fly in order to supersede that, which is what Carolyn says about the unplugging. And one of the ways to do that is to work on the self-esteem, the will, but then surround yourself with a subculture that supports your belief system. You never tell your age, because the age will put you into a portal that the society will tell you, and it colludes to keep you in that portal. An example, the attribution that you give to things, your biology will accept it. If you have a headache, and I tell you, it's tension, you'll have some immunological response, you'll have some hormonal response, and you'll have some nervous system response. If I tell you, that's a brain tumor, you're going to have a totally different process, right? Hormones, immune, nervous, totally different. Attribution is very important. So the attribution is what the culture tells you that you should be aging at whatever speed the culture. The culture determines the speed. An example, you have a Porsche, great car, and you're 30, you come out of the car and your back hurts. You say, I better do some yoga, some stretching, or maybe more sex. You're 65 and you say, too old for this car, I need to get a bigger car. What happens, not only do you kill the joy, but you prevent the things that are needed to keep you from growing older. You'll get the big car, you'll go to the doctor, he'll give you a muscle relaxant, some of them, not all, and a painkiller. And some of them will say, you have to stay on this for the rest of your life because you have blah, blah, blah. Well, what happens is that you have precluded from the change that's required so you can continue to have your Porsche until you're 90 years old. And what you do is you reverse a process. You create inverse competence in that as you grow older, you become more competent. You want to do competence in swimming. If you're 30, you can do 2 laps. When you're 60, you'll be able to do 100 laps. Nothing to do with aging. Time is necessary. It's sufficient. It's necessary but not sufficient for you to age. The problem is that our culture has gone into the pathology of gerontology. Gerontology and pathology are interrelated. It is the pathology of aging. Gerontology knows very little about the health of aging. Why? Because centenarians don't go to the doctors. And they don't know. How does a centenarian age? Well, like anybody else, very slowly. Now, you can't put the blame on doctors. We have a quick fix society. You go to the doctor and he says, you're going to have to exercise, you're going to have to do this, you have to do that, you have to meditate. Or you can take Atarax. Okay, Atarax. Boom, that's it. Quick fix. It's a difficult journey, but it's the only way to go if you want to be around with health.